Commander Thexeral stood on the bridge of the warship, his three eyes scanning the blue planet below. Earth. That was what the primitives called it. To him, it looked like a mistake. A world of storms and chaos spinning too fast, wrapped in a thick, poisonous atmosphere. Scans complete, Commander, his tactical officer reported. Class 12 Deathworld confirmed. Gravity is 1.0 standard. Atmospheric density extreme. Weather patterns unstable. Thexeral clicked his mandibles in satisfaction. The Vraxian Imperium had conquered 847 star systems. This would be number 848. He studied the data scrolling across his screen. The planet was a nightmare. Massive temperature swings. Violent tectonic activity. Aggressive fauna at every level of the food chain. Microscopic life that could kill you in 100 different ways. And somehow, against all logic, intelligent life had evolved there. The humans, Thexeral said, almost laughing. How did they survive? His science officer chirped nervously. They appear to be adapted, Commander. Their bodies are dense, heavy bones, thick muscle tissue, redundant organ systems. Scavengers, Thexeral decided. Lucky scavengers who hid in caves while their world tried to kill them. They never developed proper orbital defenses. Their weapons are primitive projectile throwers. This will be over in 2 days, the crew agreed. The Vraxians came from Vraxis Prime, a moon orbiting a gas giant. It was paradise. Gentle gravity. Calm weather. Herbivores that practically offered themselves as food. The Vraxians had grown strong through intelligence, not brutality. They had conquered world after world with superior technology and tactics. Earth would be no different. Deploy the 9th Subjugation Fleet, Thexeral ordered. 100,000 warriors. Land at their major population centers. Show them our power. They will surrender before sunset. The fleet descended. 1,000 dropships falling through Earth's atmosphere like metal rain. Thexeral watched from orbit as his forces landed across the planet. North America, Europe, Asia, Africa, every continent touched by Vraxian, boots within the same hour. His communication officer began, receiving reports immediately, landing, successful in Zone Alpha, troops deploying, some difficulty with the gravity, Commander. Thexeral frowned. The gravity was only 1.0 standard. His troops trained in 0.8, it should not be a problem. More reports came in. Faster now, urgent. Zone Beta reports atmospheric complications. Soldiers experiencing breathing difficulty. Zone Gamma under fire. Primitive weapons, but casualties reported. Commander, the weather in Zone Delta has changed. A storm system appeared in minutes. Wind speeds reaching critical levels. Thexeral felt the first stirring of unease. He pulled up the tactical display. Green markers showed his troops. Red markers showed human resistance. There were so many red markers. They are fighting back, his tactical officer said, surprise in his voice. Every landing zone. Organized resistance. Of course they are fighting, Thexeral snapped. They will learn. Increase pressure. Show them they cannot win. But the reports grew worse. The gravity was crushing his soldiers. What should have been manageable felt like moving through mud. Vraxian bodies, built for 0.6 G, struggled with every step. Soldiers fell. Some could not stand back up. The atmosphere was not just dense. It was full of things Vraxian lungs were never meant to process. Trace chemicals, pollutants, organic compounds. His troops needed respirators, but many had not brought them. Why would they need respirators for a 2-day conquest? The humans hit them with everything. Bullets, explosions, fire. Simple kinetic weapons that should not have been effective against Vraxian armor. But the humans used them with precision. They aimed for joints, weak points. They had studied warfare on this brutal world for thousands of years. And then there was the weather. A thunderstorm rolled over Zone Gamma. Thexeral watched the satellite feed. Lightning struck the ground every few seconds. The temperature dropped 20 degrees in 10 minutes. Rain fell in sheets so thick his soldiers could not see. The wind knocked them down. Request immediate evacuation from Zone Gamma, the ground commander transmitted. We cannot operate in these conditions. Denied, Thexeral said, but his voice was uncertain. The storm will pass. It did not pass. It grew stronger. His soldiers huddled in their dropships, waiting. The humans attacked during the storm. They moved through the rain and lightning like it was nothing, like this was normal for them. By the end of the first day, Thexeral had lost 3,000 soldiers, not in glorious battle. In a dozen small, horrible ways. Infections from wounds that should have been minor. Heat stroke, hypothermia. Equipment failure in the humidity. One entire squad was killed by a pack of animals the humans called wolves. Just animals. Not even the humans themselves, Commander, his science officer said quietly. I have been studying the humans. They are not scavengers. They are apex predators. This world did not allow them to survive. It forced them to become killers or die. Thexrel stared at the planet. The beautiful, terrible blue planet. Increase the assault, he ordered. We are Vraxians. We have conquered nearly 1,000 worlds. We will not be stopped by primitives. But deep in his chest, in the place where his 3 hearts beat, Thexrel felt something he had never felt before. Fear. The humans were not fighting like defenders. They were fighting like the world itself had taught them. With patience. With cruelty. With an understanding of suffering that no paradise-born species could match, and they were winning. Week 1 ended with 30,000 Vraxian casualties. Commander Thexrel could not believe the numbers. He checked them 3 times. Then he checked them again. 30% of his force, gone. Not just killed in battle. Dead from disease. Dead from the environment. Dead from things that should not have been able to kill trained soldiers. Explain this, he demanded, throwing the medical reports at his chief physician. The physician's skin had turned a sickly gray color. Commander, their bacteria are too aggressive. Too diverse. Our immune systems have no reference for Earth pathogens. A simple scratch becomes infected within hours. The infection spreads. We have no antibiotics that work. Then make some that work. We are trying. But Earth has millions of bacterial species, millions. We cannot possibly... Thexrel silenced him with a gesture. He turned to the tactical display. Red zones were spreading. Areas where his forces had been pushed back. Areas where they had simply disappeared. What about Zone Sierra? He asked. 1,500 troops. Where are they? Lost, Commander. The jungle took them. Jungles do not take soldiers, Thexrel said coldly. His tactical officer pulled up the last transmission from Zone Sierra. The audio was garbled, screaming. Then silence. The wildlife, Commander. The reports before they went silent mentioned coordinated attacks. Packs of predators. Insects the size of your hand. Snakes with venom that kills in minutes. And the plants. Some of the plants are poisonous to touch. Thexrel felt his headache growing. On Vraxis Prime, the most dangerous animal was a small herbivore that might kick if cornered. Here, everything was trying to kill you. Show me the human prisoners, he ordered. They brought 3 humans to the bridge. 2 males. 1 female, all injured but alive. The Vraxians had shot them. Center mass, wounds that would kill a Vraxian in minutes. The humans had survived. How long since they were wounded? Thexrel asked. 48 hours, Commander. Impossible. Those wounds are healing, Commander. Look. Thexrel looked. The wounds were closing. The humans were already moving normally. One of them even smiled at him. Smiled, with bullets still inside his body. Through a translator, Thexrel spoke to them. How are you alive? The female answered. We are tough. You picked the wrong planet to invade. Your weapons are primitive. Your technology is centuries behind ours. Maybe, she said, but we know how to fight. We have been fighting this world since before we could speak. Fighting each other. Fighting everything. You just showed up. Thexrel studied her. You sleep only 4 hours each night. Our intelligence says this. How do you function? 4 hours is enough. Sometimes we sleep less. Our soldiers need 8 hours minimum. She smiled again. A terrible knowing smile. Then you will always be tired here. This planet does not care what you need. Thexrel dismissed them. He pulled up human cultural files. What he read chilled him. Humans consumed poison, ethanol, capsaicin, caffeine. Things that would hospitalize a Vraxian. They drank it for pleasure. They put it in their food deliberately. They hunted by chasing prey until the prey collapsed from exhaustion. Not with speed. With endurance. They just kept coming. Hour after hour. Until their target died of fatigue. They lived in temperature ranges from -40 to +50 degrees. Vraxians could tolerate a 15-degree range before dying. They healed from injuries that would be fatal to most galactic species. Broken bones, torn muscles, blood loss. They just recovered. What are they? Thexrel whispered. His science officer answered. Survivors, Commander. The ultimate survivors. Earth killed 99% of all species that ever lived there. Only the absolute toughest remained, and humans are the toughest of them all. Month 2 began badly and got worse. Only 12,000 combat-effective troops remained. The others were dead, wounded, or too sick to fight. Thexerl ordered a retreat to fortified positions. Dig in, use technology. Orbital bombardment. The orbital strikes were disappointing. Earth's thick atmosphere dispersed the energy. What should have been devastating became merely damaging. And the humans adapted. They moved underground. They spread out. They learned. They learned so fast. Within days, humans were using captured Vraxian weapons. Within weeks, they had reverse-engineered Vraxian shields. Their scientists and engineers worked with a speed that seemed impossible. They treated Vraxian technology like a puzzle to solve, not magic to fear. And the reports grew stranger. Soldiers claimed the planet was watching them, that the forests moved when they were not looking, that the rivers changed course to cut off their retreat. Thexerl thought they were losing their minds. Then he read the detailed accounts. A patrol in a forest clearing. They set up camp. In the morning, the clearing was gone. New trees surrounded them, except they were not new trees. They were vines, plants that grew meters per day, trapping the patrol, a squad crossing a river. The water was calm, clear, safe. Halfway across, the current changed. Flash flood. 8 soldiers drowned. The ecosystem is hostile, his science officer explained. Not just the animals, everything, the entire planet is a weapon. Planets are not alive, Thexerl insisted. No, Commander. But Earth is dynamic, active, it changes constantly. Storms appear in minutes. Temperatures shift. The humans learned to read these signs, to predict them, to use them. We did not. We are dying because we do not understand this world. Thexerl made his decision. Full evacuation. Signal the fleet. We are leaving. Commander, the High Council will... I do not care what the High Council will say. I will not sacrifice this entire army to pride. Prepare for immediate withdrawal. But it was too late. The humans had sabotaged their landing fields, destroyed their fuel supplies, hacked their communication networks. While the Vraxians had been fighting to survive, the humans had been planning to trap them. Thexerl's last transmission to the fleet was brief. We have made a terrible mistake. These are not primitives. They are predators. They are born from a world of death. Do not send reinforcements. Do not. The transmission ended. Human forces breached the command bunker. Thexerl died, still trying to understand how he had lost. How paradise-born conquerors could fall to the children of hell. The evacuation craft exploded before it left the ground. Lieutenant Chrysix watched from his hiding spot in the equipment bunker. His commander was dead. His squad was dead. The dropship that was supposed to save him was now a burning wreck. He was alone. Around him, the Vraxian army was collapsing. Not losing, collapsing, there was a difference. Losing meant you fought and failed. This was not that. This was dissolution, chaos, the complete breakdown of military structure. Chrysix accessed his tactical pad. The map showed Vraxian positions across the planet. They were fragmenting, breaking into smaller groups, running. The humans were hunting them. He listened to the emergency channels. The voices were panicked, desperate. This is Team Vex. We are trapped in the mountains. The cold is killing us. Please send static. Zone Tango requesting support. We have no food, no water. The humans cut off our supply. Static. They are not using technology anymore. They are hunting us with simple weapons.
Why are they doing this?
Why? Static. One by one, the voices went silent. Chrysix knew why. The humans were making a point. They could fight with technology. They could fight with guns and missiles and bombs. But they did not need to. They could kill Vraxians with rocks and sticks and their bare hands if they wanted, and they wanted the Vraxians to know it. He pulled up the last log entries from various units. Reading them was like reading horror stories. From the desert team. Day 12. 7 of us left. The heat is unbearable. We found shade, but it is not enough. Water supplies exhausted. Krell died this morning. His body is already decaying in this heat. We saw humans watching us from the rocks. They have water. They are just watching us die. From the Arctic team. Cannot feel my limbs. The cold went through our armor like it was nothing. Equipment frozen solid. We tried to start a fire. The wind killed it. The humans live here. How do they live here? From the jungle team. Something took Fricks last night. We heard him scream. Found his body this morning. Bite marks everywhere. Small bites. Hundreds of them. We think it was insects. Just insects. They ate him alive. From the coastal team. The ocean tried to kill us today. A wave, just a wave. It destroyed our position. Dragged 3 soldiers away. The humans surf these waves for fun. For fun. Chrysix felt his sanity cracking. Every environment on this planet was lethal. The humans did not just survive them. They thrived in them. They made homes in them. They raised children in places that killed trained soldiers. What kind of species does that? He kept reading. He could not stop. Found Thrall's body. Something small killed him. We think it was a spider. A spider the size of your hand. Venomous. He died in minutes, convulsing. The humans keep these as pets. We tried to hide in a cave, bats, thousands of bats. They carried disease. Half the team is infected. There is no cure. The trees are poison. The plants are poison. The air is full of pollen that makes us sick. How do the humans breathe this? Chrysix noticed a pattern in the logs. The Vraxians kept asking how. How do humans do this? How do they survive? The answer was always the same. They were born here. They evolved here. This nightmare world was their home. He pulled up human cultural files. Looked at their history. What he found was worse than any battlefield report. Humans had almost gone extinct. Multiple times. Ice ages that lasted thousands of years. Supervolcano eruptions that blocked the sun. Asteroid impacts, plagues, their own wars. Once they were reduced to only 10,000 individuals. 10,000 humans left in the entire world. They survived. They recovered. They multiplied. Earth kept trying to kill them. They kept refusing to die. Chrysix understood now. The Vraxians had not invaded a planet. They had invaded a crucible. A forge where evolution hammered out the strongest, toughest, most stubborn species in the galaxy. And they had made that species angry. He accessed the last known position of the main Vraxian force. 200 soldiers had fortified a position in a place called the Amazon rainforest. They chose it because the jungle was thick. Good cover, good concealment. The logs from that position were recent. Updated daily, then hourly, then every few minutes. Day 3, the jungle is hostile. More hostile than we expected. Everything bites. Everything stings. Everything is poisonous. Day 5. We are sick, all of us. The infections are spreading. The fungus grows on our equipment, on our skin. We cannot stop it. Day 8. Food running low. Cannot hunt. Everything here will kill you if you eat it. The humans know which plants are safe. We do not. Day 10. We have not seen humans in days. Why have they not attacked? Why are they waiting? Chrysix knew why. The humans were not waiting. They were letting the jungle do the work. Why waste bullets on an enemy that was already dying? The final log entry from the Amazon position was short. Day 14. 43 survivors. The rest died from disease, infection, or the wildlife. We hear humans at the perimeter. They are not attacking. They are just there. Watching. Waiting. I think they want to see how long we last. Then nothing. Chrysix sat in his bunker for 3 days. He had food, water, power, but he could not stay here forever. Eventually, he would have to leave. On the 4th day, he heard footsteps outside. Human footsteps. They walked past his bunker, paused, kept walking. They knew he was there. They knew exactly where he was, and they left him alone. Chrysix began to understand. This was not mercy. This was purpose. The humans wanted someone to survive. Someone to go home. Someone to tell the story. They wanted the galaxy to know what happened when you invaded Earth. On the 5th day, he found supplies outside his bunker. Human supplies, food, medicine, and a data pad with a message in perfect Vraxian. Go home. Tell them what you saw. Tell them to stay away. Chrysix picked up the pad with shaking hands. He looked around. No humans visible. But they were watching. They were always watching. He whispered to the empty air. Thank you. From somewhere in the distance, he thought he heard laughter. Human laughter. And it was the most terrifying sound he had ever heard. Chrysix walked for 3 days. The humans had given him a map, a route to a launch site. They had even marked safe places to rest. Places where the wildlife was less dangerous, where the water was clean, They were guiding him, herding him like livestock, but gently, almost kindly. It made his skin crawl. On the first day, he passed through a battlefield. The ground was torn up, scorch marks everywhere, Vraxian equipment scattered like toys. But something was different. The bodies were gone. He found them a kilometer away, buried. Hundreds of Vraxian soldiers in neat rows, graves marked with simple stone markers. Each one had a name, a rank, a date. The humans had buried their enemies with military honors. Chrysix fell to his knees. He did not understand. You did not honor enemies. You left them to rot. That was the way of war. But humans were different. On the second day, he passed through a human city, or what had been a battlefield near a city. The destruction was incredible. Buildings damaged, roads cratered, evidence of fierce fighting everywhere. But the humans were already rebuilding. Construction crews worked around the clock. Children played in parks that had been combat zones weeks ago. Flowers grew in planters placed over blast craters, life returning. Almost immediately, Chrysix stopped and watched. A human child, maybe 6 years old, kicked a ball near him. The ball rolled to his feet. He froze, terrified. The child walked up, looked at him with curious eyes, no fear, just curiosity. "Are you one of the aliens?" the child asked. Chrysix nodded slowly. "My dad fought you," the child said matter-of-factly. "He's okay now." "Are you going home?" "Yes," Chrysix whispered through his translator. "Okay, tell your friends not to come back. We don't want to fight anymore." The child took the ball and ran off. Chrysix stood there, shaking. A child, a human child, living in a war zone, playing, unconcerned, already moving on. These were not normal creatures. That night, he accessed the human data archives. The humans had left them open for him. They wanted him to learn, to understand. He read about their history, 5 mass extinction events, times when almost all life on Earth died. The humans survived. Their ancestors survived ice ages. The temperature dropped 30 degrees globally, stayed that way for thousands of years. The humans survived. They hunted mammoth in the frozen wasteland. Supervolcano eruptions. The sky went dark for years. Crops died. The humans survived. They ate whatever they could find. Plagues. Disease that killed millions. The humans survived. They built immunity wars, humans fighting humans. Weapons of terrible power. Nuclear bombs. Chemical warfare. Biological weapons. They used them on each other. And they survived. Chrysix began to understand. Earth did not just host humanity. Earth created humanity. Every disaster, every catastrophe, every near-extinction event made them stronger, made them tougher, made them more determined to survive. They were not lucky. They were forged. Hammered on the anvil of apocalypse until nothing could break them. He read their philosophy, their art, their stories. They celebrated struggle. They honored those who suffered and overcame. Their greatest heroes were not the ones who had easy lives. They were the ones who endured. They had a saying, "What does not kill you makes you stronger." On Earth, that was not just a saying. It was fact. On the third day, he reached the launch site, a small spaceport. His escape pod waited, fueled, ready. The humans had even loaded supplies, food, medicine, data files, and a human waited for him. She wore a military uniform, medals on her chest, scars on her face. A general. She stood at attention, formal and professional. Chrysix approached carefully. She did not draw a weapon, did not threaten. She just waited. "Lieutenant Chrysix," she said through a translator. "I am General Chen. I wanted to speak with you before you leave." "Why?" Chrysix asked. "Why let me go? Why help me?" "Because we want your people to understand," she said simply. "We did not want this war. You brought it to our home. You attacked our cities, killed our people, tried to conquer us. I know. I am sorry." She held up a hand. "I am not asking for apologies. I am explaining. You came here thinking we were weak, primitive, easy prey. You were wrong. I know that now. Do you?" She stepped closer. "Do you really understand? Or do you just fear us?" Chrysix thought about it. "Both. I fear you because I understand you. You are survivors. The ultimate survivors. Your world tried to kill you for millions of years. You refused to die." General Chen nodded. "Yes, Earth is not just our home. It is our teacher, our torturer. Our forge. We are what happens when a species has no choice but to be strong or go extinct. She gestured to the planet around them. You see a Deathworld. We see home. You see hostile weather. We see Tuesday. You see deadly animals. We see dinner. Everything here that terrifies you is normal for us. We were born in this hell and we made it beautiful. Chrysax felt tears forming in his eyes. Not sadness, horror. Awe. Your empire conquers paradise worlds, General Chen continued. Planets where life is easy. Where evolution was gentle. You took those worlds and made them yours. But you cannot take Earth. Because Earth does not allow weakness. Earth does not tolerate the unprepared. Earth kills the unwary. And you thrive here, Chrysax whispered. We do more than thrive. We love it. This planet tried to kill us. We made it our weapon. We learned its moods. We adapted to its chaos. We became its apex predator. And now nothing in this galaxy can match us, because we were trained by the cruelest teacher in existence. She handed him a data drive. This contains our history, our biology, our capabilities. Take it. Show your leaders. Make them understand what they faced here. Chrysax took the drive with trembling hands. One more thing, General Chen said. Tell them this is not a threat. This is a warning. We let you go because we want peace. We do not want to fight the galaxy. But if you come back, if anyone comes back to hurt our home, she paused. Her eyes were hard, unforgiving. We will show you what humanity can do when we stop being merciful. Chrysax boarded the escape pod. As the engines warmed up, he looked out the window one last time. General Chen saluted him, a gesture of respect, warrior to warrior. Then the pod launched. Up through the atmosphere, away from Earth, away from the blue nightmare planet that had destroyed an army and let one survivor escape, to carry a message, to deliver a warning, stay away from Earth, or face what evolution creates when it refuses to show mercy. The escape pod drifted through space for 6 months. Chrysax spent most of that time in cryosleep. When he was awake, he watched the recordings, the data the humans had given him. He watched until he could not watch anymore. Then he slept. Then he woke and watched again. The Vraxian Border Patrol found him on a Tuesday. They scanned the pod, identified it as Vraxian military, brought it aboard. When they opened it, they found Chrysax curled in a ball, mumbling to himself. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. The medical team sedated him. Ran scans, found no physical injuries, no toxins, no disease. His body was fine, but his mind was shattered. They brought him to Vraxis Prime, to the military hospital. The doctors tried everything. Medication, therapy, neural rehabilitation. Nothing worked. Chrysax would not speak, would not eat, would not respond to any stimulus. He just sat in his bed staring at nothing, whispering the same 2 words over and over. It's alive. High Command demanded answers. They wanted to know what happened to the 9th Subjugation Fleet. 100,000 soldiers gone. Only one survivor. And he was insane. They tried to debrief him, brought him to a conference room, showed him images of Earth, asked him questions. Chrysax screamed. He lunged at the display screen showing Earth, clawed at it, screamed words that made no sense. The guards restrained him. He fought them with surprising strength, kept screaming, "It's alive! The world is alive! It will kill you! It will kill all of us!" They sedated him again. Brought in psychiatrists. Dr. Vrelmoth was the best. She had treated thousands of soldiers with combat trauma. She sat with Chrysax for weeks, patient, gentle. Slowly, he began to talk. "The planet," he whispered. "It's not just a rock. It moves, it changes, it attacks. Planets cannot attack, Chrysax. Planets are not alive like us, but active, always active. Storms that appear in minutes, earthquakes, volcanoes, temperature swings. It never stops moving, never stops changing. And the humans. They learned to read it, to predict it, to use it." Dr. Vrelmoth made notes. "So the environment was hostile?" "Hostile?" Chrysax laughed. It was not a sane sound. Hostile is not the right word. Lethal, apocalyptic. That world has killed 99% of everything that ever lived on it. The humans are the survivors of a billion-year war with their own planet. They did not just survive. They won. What do you mean they won? Chrysax looked at her with haunted eyes. They conquered their world, not by making it gentle, by becoming tougher than it, by adapting to everything it threw at them. Ice Age, they survived. Super volcano, They survived. Plague, war, famine, they survived. Earth kept trying to kill them. They kept saying no. Dr. Vrelmoth wrote furiously. And the military engagement? There was no military engagement. There was a slaughter. We were paradise-born children playing soldier. They were warriors forged in hell. We never stood a chance. The High Command reviewed Dr. Vrelmoth's reports. They did not believe them. Chrysix was clearly traumatized, delusional. One soldier's raving could not be taken seriously, but the Ninth Fleet was gone. That was a fact. They needed an official explanation. The Galactic Council convened. The Vraxian representative stood before the other species, explained the situation, or the version they wanted to believe. The Ninth Subjugation Fleet was lost due to unforeseen environmental hazards. The world known as Earth in Sector 7G is a Class 12 death world. We underestimated the danger. We have declared the sector under quarantine. No further contact will be attempted. The other species accepted this. Death worlds were dangerous. Everyone knew that. Losing an army to environmental hazards was embarrassing but understandable. Only a few saw the classified reports. The real reports, the ones that detailed human military capabilities, human adaptability, human tenacity, those reports were sealed, locked in a vault, marked extreme threat, protected status. Earth was not quarantined to protect humanity. It was quarantined to protect the galaxy from humanity. Chrysix was eventually released from the hospital. Medically retired, given a pension, told to live quietly. He tried. He really did. But the nightmares never stopped. The memories never faded. He would wake up screaming about rain and lightning and humans who smiled while they killed. He was moved to a care facility, a place for broken soldiers. He spent his days in a garden, quiet, peaceful, safe, until the news came, 5 years after his return. The reports started appearing. Human ships detected in Vraxian space, not warships, exploration vessels, science ships, diplomatic couriers. Humanity had developed faster than light travel. They had reverse-engineered it from captured Vraxian technology. In 5 years, they were reaching out to the galaxy, seeking trade, seeking knowledge, seeking peaceful contact, but the Vraxians knew the truth. They saw the message hidden beneath the diplomatic words. We survived you on our world. We can survive anywhere. We can reach you now. We can come to your worlds. Remember that. Remember what we are. The Galactic Council panicked, quietly, behind closed doors. They debated what to do. Some wanted to attack, destroy humanity before they spread. Others argued for diplomacy, containment, cooperation. The debate raged for months. Chrysix heard about it on the news. He sat in his garden and listened to the politicians argue. Listened to them plan. Listened to them fear. And for the first time in 5 years, he smiled. They do not understand, he said to his caretaker. They still do not understand. Understand what? The caretaker asked. Chrysix looked up at the sky. Somewhere up there, human ships were flying. Human explorers were seeing new worlds. Human diplomats were meeting new species. It's alive, he whispered. Earth made them, shaped them, forged them. And now they are bringing what they learned. They are taking their world with them. Not the planet. The lesson. The survival. The refusal to quit. He closed his eyes. The smile remained. They told us to stay away. We should have listened. Because now they are coming to us, not as conquerors, as survivors. And survivors always spread, always adapt, always endure. The caretaker did not understand. Nobody did. Not yet, but they would. Eventually, the galaxy would learn what Chrysix knew. What 100,000 dead Vraxians learned too late. Humanity was not a species. Humanity was a force of nature. Born from chaos, shaped by catastrophe, refined by endless suffering, they were the children of Earth. And Earth was the cruelest mother in the universe. She raised her children to survive anything, to overcome anything, to never ever give up. And now those children were stepping onto the galactic stage. Chrysix laughed softly. It was almost sane. Almost. It's alive, he whispered to the sky, and it's spreading. Somewhere in the vastness of space, a human exploration ship jumped to FTL, heading to a new system. A new world. A new beginning. The crew was excited, hopeful, ready for whatever they would find. They were human. They were survivors. They were coming, and the galaxy would never be the same.